Security along borders tightened to prevent entry of monkeypox. SAHIH to provide long-term protection to gig economy workers. Good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight and my name is Daryl Baptist. All battalions under the General Operations Force, or PGA, manning the Malaysian-Thai border have been put on alert and ordered to beef up checks to prevent people infected with monkeypox, also known as Mpox, from entering the country. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussain said checks by PGA members would focus on the many rat trails that exist along the borders. He said there were about 151 PGA posts in several states bordering Thailand, including Kelantan.
Kita akan menentukan bahawa kita perlu mengekang penyakit Mpox ini masuk ke Malaysia. Terutamanya melalui sekarang ni tak sebut jalan tikus dah. Dia sebut jalan illegal entry, jalan haram, lorong-lorong haram.
He said this to reporters after launching the Kampung Angkat Madani program in Kampung Jenal, Kuala Karai today. On 25th August, Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said the ministry was keeping track of rat trails along the country's borders, especially around Sungai Golok, through security controls conducted by the PGA. Malaysia is pressing ahead with the licensing requirement for social media and instant messaging platforms. This is despite pushback it is facing from the Asia Internet Coalition, also known as AIC, an organization representing tech giants like Meta, Apple, Amazon, Google, Yahoo, X and LinkedIn. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil said AIC did not represent all companies and expressed his willingness to meet with any parties or companies regarding the licensing requirements.
Ruang untuk berbincang masih ada. Kerajaan Malaysia masih berpendirian bahawa platform-platform media sosial dan sistem pesanan internet perlu dikenakan kerangka kawal selia untuk menjamin internet yang lebih selamat bagi rakyat Malaysia, terutama kanak-kanak dan keluarga.
He said this to reporters during an engagement session at Kampung Orang Asli Kelinsing, Sepang, as part of the Kampung Angkat Madani. In an open letter to Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, AIC yesterday believes the framework introduced by the MCMC is unworkable for the industry and will adversely impact innovation by placing undue burdens on businesses. It added the move would hinder investments and deter future ones due to the complexity and costs of compliance. The regulatory framework or licensing of social media platforms and messaging services, introduced on 1st August, will come into force from next year. Does not involve users of the social media platforms. The licensing only applies to social media service providers. In other news, the inaugural International Arbitration Congress 2024 in Malaysia underscores the country's rising prominence and Asia's expanding leadership in global arbitration. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Law and Institutional Reform, Datuk Sri Azalina Othman Syed, said this conference signifies Malaysia's commitment to advancing and redefining arbitration practices on an international scale.
By hosting this Congress, Malaysia is making a powerful statement. We are not merely participants in the global arbitration landscape. We are the architects of the future. Malaysia, and indeed the whole of ASEAN, stands ready to lead the innovation, integrity and the shared vision of what arbitration can and should be in years to come.
The minister said Malaysia's strategic location at the crossroads of major trade routes enhances its position as a key arbitration hub. She said beyond the geographical advantages, Malaysia's multicultural society and deep respect for diverse legal traditions and languages enrich its arbitration framework. By capitalizing on these strengths, she said Malaysia is well positioned to be a central hub for arbitration not only within Asia but on the global stage. Speaking of global stages, Malaysia is committed to complying with international standards set by the Financial Action Task Force, emphasizing the importance of beneficial ownership transparency as a key foundation in the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing. Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Minister Dato' Armizan Muhammad Ali said the recent amendments to the Companies Act 2016 through the Companies Amendment Act 2024 mark a significant step in strengthening corporate governance in the country. He said the legal framework introduces various changes to enhance transparency and accountability in company management and improve corporate regulatory mechanisms. The amendment reflects the commitment of the Ministry and the Companies Commission of Malaysia to lead more comprehensive strategies and approaches in supporting the reform agenda. Dato' Armizan said the legal framework also emphasizes stricter oversight and clearer reporting on beneficial ownership, aimed at reducing the risk of misconduct and increasing investor confidence and other stakeholders' trust in the integrity of Malaysia's business system. He underscored that this approach aligns with the national goal of becoming a highly competitive and integrity-driven business hub on the global stage. Chief Secretary to the government, Shamsul Azri Abu Bakar, today concurred that many citizens have complained that the services provided by civil servants remained the same despite the recent announcement of a salary hike.
Apabila kerajaan bersetuju dengan kajian kenaikan gaji, maka kita sebagai penjawat awam perlulah memberi balik kepada rakyat supaya kita ni relevan kepada rakyat.
He said this after presenting appointment letters to officers from key ministries and departments today. Dato' Sri Shamsul Azri also called for civil servants to show greater dedication to their work and not be absent from duty during office hours. He also emphasized the importance of public servants displaying more charisma in the workplace, especially since the public can easily record their behavior. On 16th August, Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim announced that civil servants will be getting salary increments of between 7% and 15% under the new Public Service Remuneration System, or SSPA, from December this year. Malaysia has expressed its desire to Saudi Arabia for an increase in the country's Hajj quota. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Religious Affairs, Dato' Dr. Muhammad Naim Mokhtar, mentioned that the matter was conveyed during his meeting with Saudi Arabia's Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Dr. Taufik Fazwan Al Rabiah. Explaining further, Dato' Dr. Muhammad Naim said during the meeting he raised several important issues, including the request to increase Malaysia's Hajj quota in line with the population of Malaysians. He expressed hope that the strong relationship between the Malaysian and Saudi Arabian governments will benefit the Muslim community. Dato' Dr. Muhammad Naim added that Dr. Taufik's official visit highlights Saudi Arabia's confidence in Malaysia's capability, citing the Makkah route program during the last Hajj season as an example. Dr. Taufik is on an official visit to Malaysia from 26th to 28th August to further strengthen bilateral relations between Malaysia and Saudi Arabia. Coming up, Port Klang to be more proactive to enter top 10 busiest port list. Welcome back. The government is committed to establishing the Malaysian Gig Economy Commission, also known as SAGIM, after a bill related to the welfare of gig workers is tabled in Parliament this October. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the establishment of the commission needs to be expedited to provide long-term protection and offer upskilling and reskilling opportunities to the affected workforce. He said the commission represents a game changer, a concept not widely adopted by many countries. However, he said the Ministry of Human Resources and the Ministry of Higher Education have worked together to bring this commission to fruition. Additionally, he said the government plans to introduce a program for gig economy workers, offering free skill courses and allowances that can be pursued alongside their daily work.
Kerana kita amat mengambil kepedulian ketika pekerja gig ini mungkin mencapai umur lebih 40 tahun, produktiviti mereka itu mungkin menurun. Jadi yang penting ialah bagaimana keluarga, terutama anak-anak harus dijaga dengan adanya kerjaya yang dipersiapkan untuk mereka melalui program-program yang mereka ikuti.
The Investment, Trade and Industry or MITI and Higher Education or MOHE ministries will submit talent development proposals to the Finance Ministry MOF for inclusion in Budget 2025, aimed at advancing the nation's artificial intelligence or AI capabilities. MITI Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Abdul Aziz stated that both ministries are collaborating to cultivate a skilled AI-ready workforce for the growing industry.
We are working together to ensure that the talent pipeline, coming from the universities and TVETs, are AI trained, so that when the industry, as they adopt AI, they also have the talent ready to join the companies. So this is something we work on, and we will present together to Ministry of Finance on some of the ideas that we need, especially for the upcoming budget.
Earlier, the minister emphasized Malaysia's goal to leverage digitalization for creating high-value jobs, boosting productivity and achieving sustainable growth through the new Industrial Master Plan 2030. He conveyed that while AI offers remarkable opportunities and challenges, the government, along with key ministries, agencies and stakeholders, must actively position Malaysia as a leader in the global AI landscape. Under the National Artificial Intelligence or AI Roadmap, Malaysia aims to achieve global leadership in AI by 2030 by enhancing AI research and innovation, fostering a vibrant AI ecosystem and promoting responsible AI usage. Bumiputra entrepreneurs, especially micro, small and medium enterprises, also known as MSMEs, are encouraged to view the Bumiputra Economic Transformation Plan 2035, titled Putra 35, as a great opportunity to boost their competitiveness and business scale. Deputy Secretary-General for Policy of the Ministry of Economy, Datuk Dr. Zunika Muhammad, stated that government efforts alone are not enough, as entrepreneurs need to proactively seek ways to create added value and penetrate new markets, especially in sectors with high growth potential and value.
Bila kita melihat keperluan untuk kita pastikan negara beranjak daripada apa yang kita ada sekarang untuk menuju pembangunan ekonomi menjadi negara yang berpendapatan tinggi, kita lihat bahawa kita perlu membuat perubahan-perubahan transformasi. Yang perlu kita adakan adalah untuk menghadapi bagaimana kita perlu membuat transformasi dalam memastikan bahawa kesan daripada apa yang berlaku di peringkat global, contohnya dengan perubahan-perubahan blok ekonomi, bagaimana kita boleh pastikan bahawa kesan tersebut kita boleh minimalkan, kita boleh bangunkan Bumiputra.
Datuk Dr. Zunika wants Putra 35 to be seen as a starting point to elevate Bumiputra MSMEs and, in turn, raise the status and dignity of Bumiputra globally. Transport Minister Anthony Lok has urged the Port Klang Authority to be more proactive in increasing port productivity to ensure it is listed among the world's top 10 busiest this year. He said Port Klang was the 11th busiest port globally last year. The minister expressed confidence that the target is achievable because many companies want to set up factories in the country and Malaysia has a strong government, stable politics as well as investor-friendly policies.
Kita mengamalkan dasar perdagangan yang terbuka, baik dengan Amerika Syarikat, baik dengan Eropah, baik dengan China. So, semua sektor ini kita menyumbang kepada peningkatan pelabuhan. Sebab nilai perdagangan kita memang meningkat. Dan satu faktor yang penting ialah kita bukan sahaja transshipment hub, kita juga ada local cargo. Maksudnya kita punya daya ekspor dan import kita sangat tinggi.
Lok said Port Klang's container handling statistics involving imports and exports rose by 10.5% versus last year's container handling. He urged the Port Klang management to be more proactive to increase port productivity so that operations can run smoothly, boosting Malaysia's trade activities. The Inland Revenue Board, or LHDN, is encouraging taxpayers to use its e-services system. Federal Territory of Kuala Lumpur LHDN Public Relations Officer Muhammad Nasrul Izzati Zahari emphasised that taxpayers can manage their tax affairs more easily, quickly, securely and from anywhere via e-services. He explained that e-services refer to various online tax services provided by LHDN that enable taxpayers to access these services without the need for a physical visit to LHDN offices. He added that MyTax includes e-filing and Bayar Hasil, and taxpayers will receive notifications if there are payments due or if they fail to submit their income tax return forms via e-filing. The Public Relations Officer noted that MyTax also allows taxpayers to check their travel ban status before going abroad. In addition, MyTax stores taxpayers' personal information, including their tax identification number, or TIN, details of the LHDN office handling their file, and payment records, such as monthly tax deductions, or PCB, and any outstanding tax balances. He explained that existing taxpayers can access the MyTax portal using their identification card number, military number, police number, or passport number, along with their password. Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, or BIMB's net financing margin is expected to continue to broaden in the third quarter of this year on the back of faster financing growth, benign fixed deposit competition and the move to lower its board fixed deposits rates in August. In a note issued today, Hong Leong Investment Bank Berhad, or HLIB, opined that the potentially quicker credit growth would help to optimize the fixed deposit rate and widen the net financing margin as well. BIMB's management shared that its corporate lending pipeline is robust and should trickle through in the second half of this year, while the retail segment is seen to regain steam on seasonally stronger demand. Separately, net credit cost is anticipated to be stable at current levels, given steady asset quality. In any case, HLIB is generally reassured by the bank's financing loss coverage of over 100%, as this provides the buffer to pad any potential deterioration in asset quality. Therefore, HLIB has upgraded BIMB to a buy call with a higher target price of RM3.10 per share. Its earnings forecast for BIMB is unchanged since its second quarter 2024 results were broadly in line. Now, WhatsApp significantly enhances connections between businesses and consumers, facilitating growth and meaningful relationships, according to Meta Malaysia. Kantar's 2024 business messaging usage research shows that 70% of Malaysians prefer messaging businesses over calling or emailing. The study, commissioned by Meta, also indicates that nearly 80% of Malaysians message businesses at least once a week. Nicole Tan, Meta Malaysia's country director, emphasized the critical role of messaging for Malaysian businesses. She said messaging is integral to all Malaysians, so it's not surprising that 70% of Malaysians prefer to engage with companies via messaging. Tan noted that 76% of online adults in Malaysia would message a business right after clicking on its social media advertisement, which underscores WhatsApp's significance for businesses in Malaysia. Enya Minuti, Meta's product marketing manager for Southeast Asia, announced that Meta Verified is now available for eligible small businesses using the WhatsApp Business app. He explained that Meta Verified helps businesses establish credibility, enhance their presence on WhatsApp, and encourage customer outreach. More business updates, this time from RHB Banking Group, who plans to continue leveraging foreign direct investments, or FDIs, opportunities particularly in Johor, the Klang Valley, Pulau Pinang and Sarawak, which are seen as high economic growth areas. Group Managing Director and Group Chief Executive Officer Muhammad Rashid Muhammad said the group was also getting some traction from Singapore, given the high interest by Singapore firms in investing through Invest Johor. He said collectively, Johor and Singapore are bringing potential FDI flows into Malaysia, and the bank is facilitating them if they need any financing or investment. Muhammad Rashid said the group would also help facilitate investors to select projects for investments. He said the data center and industry sectors are among the key areas, as well as residential property projects in Johor. However, the banking group is quite selective in terms of the projects that they are financing. Meanwhile, commenting on the ringgit's performance, which has been the most appreciated currency in the region for this year to date, Muhammad Rashid said it would likely continue to move on an uptrend thanks to the concerted efforts within the industry. Here's some good news for our economy. Businesses are more optimistic about the business environment for the third quarter of this year, as indicated by the increase in the Department of Statistics Malaysia's confidence indicator to 4.7% from 0.7% in the second quarter. Chief Statistician Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said all sectors forecast a brighter business outlook for the third quarter. Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair said business sentiment in the industry sector remains favourable, with 4.1% in the reference quarter against 5.3% in the last quarter. He noted that this sturdy sentiment is contributed by the positive confidence from all industry subsectors, namely electricity and water, mining, manufacturing and agriculture. Meanwhile, the services sector's confidence indicator rebounded into positive territory, 8.3% in the current quarter from negative 0.9% in the second quarter. This turnaround was driven by improvement in the confidence indicators of the health, followed by insurance and accommodation subsectors. He said the confidence indicator for the construction sector also turned positive by posting 2.2% in the third quarter compared to negative 14.8% in the preceding quarter. Similarly, sentiment within the wholesale and retail trade sector moved to a positive direction by registering a 1.4% as against negative 4.1% in the previous quarter. China's major industrial enterprises garnered a total of over 4 trillion yuan of profits over the past 7 months, registering a 3.6% increase from the same period 1 year earlier. The National Bureau of Statistics data showed that combined profits of industrial firms with an annual main business revenue of at least 20 million yuan or industrial enterprises above designated size totaled 4.099 trillion yuan in the first 7 months. In July alone, profits of major industrial firms rose 4.1% compared to a year earlier. As for key industries, from January to July, the profit of high-tech manufacturing sector increased by 12.8% year-on-year, 9.2 percentage points higher than the average level of industrial enterprises above designated size, and contributing nearly 60% to their profit growth. Notably, the profits of lithium-ion battery, semiconductor device and smart consumer equipment manufacturers increased by 45.6%, 16% and 9.2% respectively on a yearly basis. During the period, the profits of equipment manufacturing sector increased by 6.1% compared to 1 year ago, with that of railway, shipbuilding, aerospace and electronics companies maintaining rapid growth. The Kuala Lumpur rubber market closed higher today, driven by ongoing concerns about natural rubber or NR supply and a slight weakening of the ringgit against the US dollar, according to a dealer. Market sentiment improved due to positive Chinese economic data and expectations of lower US interest rates. However, further gains were limited by mixed trends in regional rubber futures and falling benchmark crude oil prices. Japanese rubber futures rose for a 6th consecutive session, reaching a 5-month high amid worries about tightening supply from Thailand. China's industrial profits grew faster in July, rising 4.1% from a year earlier after a 3.6% increase in June, driven by high-tech manufacturing. That concludes this evening's Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, security along borders tightened to prevent entry of monkeypox. Malaysia Madani, Jiwa Merdeka, I'm Darryl Baptist. Thank you for watching. Have a great week ahead. Good night.